Yeah, with everything else I got going on today, of course, there's a trailer. So, new trailer for Pixar's Elemental. I I'm I'm just gonna tell people up front. I'm not expecting to be wowed by this trailer. Couple of reasons. The teaser didn't do much for me. Like, the world seemed slightly visually interesting, but it looked like they were just setting up a very standard opposites attract romance story, which, like, those are fine. I'm not gonna say that something like that shouldn't exist, but that's not me. That's not to my taste, by and large. And then there's also the fact that, to be honest, I don't like most Pixar trailers. Even for Pixar movies I've liked, most of the time their trailers leave me going, okay. I'm not going to say they're not good at selling their stuff, but it often leaves me either confused or unimpressed with their approach to trailers. Obviously, like, here's me criticizing a massive multi-million-dollar company. So, like, whatever. I'm not saying they're doing it wrong, but this is me giving you a heads up for how I'm likely to feel about this. But in any case, let's take a look. Come on. There we go. Hey. Element City.
Residents of Element City.
Cyclone Stadium.
Usually has their head in the clouds.
Oh, my new jacket.
Okay.
Earth can be a little seedy.
Nothing weird going on here.
Just a little pruning. Water is
Okay.
always getting into something. And
Okay, that's
fire,
kind of funny.
as ordered, we run a little hot.
This shop
Okay.
is dream of our family. Someday it'll all be yours.
But we all live by one simple rule. Elements cannot mix.
Oh, really?
The pipe squished me all out of shape.
Dang.
That's better.
Oh.
So you've never left Firetown?
Sorry, buddy. Elements don't mix. Hey! Plus, my dad would boil you alive.
Why does anyone get to tell you what you can do in your life? Come on! Why do they even have these?
Who knows?
That's actually a legitimately good question.
Ember, I see a change in you.
What, hair guy? You live here?
It's my mom's place.
We got 2 kids that are swimming around here somewhere. Marco! Follow!
Okay.
I've been trying to fill my father's shoes, but I never once asked what I wanted to do.
Try this!
Dad, those are too hot.
I love hot food.
You see? He likes it.
Ugh. Okay. This is a wow. This is not for me all over. Top to bottom, this is just no pass. Big pass, hard pass. Again, if it excites you, either based on what you saw, your taste, or just a love of Pixar, if you just trust them as a brand, fantastic. That's great. Nothing about that interests me. Like, visually, it's kind of neat, but I'm a story person first. And if it's not a story that appeals to me or interests me or is going to speak to me, or it just, I think, has nothing for me, maybe for other people, but not for me, like, then the visuals aren't going to change that. The visuals won't save a story that I'm unengaged with. And, like, I can be iffy about romance stories in the first place. Like, I have a not unearned reputation as being a massive hater of romance. It's not across the board, but, like, part of the thing is I don't find a lot of inherent catharsis in a romance story. It has to be an incredibly well-told one. But most of them just fit a lot of very standard templates and like, oh, they're from two different worlds. Her parents don't approve. I've never seen that before. And I know when it comes to kids media, that's not always necessarily a valid criticism because everybody runs into cliches and tropes for a first time. And while I always make the argument that you should never use the excuse, it's for kids to be lazy and make crap, I do think you probably should get a little bit of leeway on certain storytelling cliches when it's aimed at kids, because to kids, it might not be cliche yet. And that's fine and fair. But I'm 41. I'm not a kid. I've seen the cliches. I've seen the awkward dinners and this is all rom-com stuff. I don't like rom-coms. It's not that I don't like any ever, but the tropes and the standards and the common beats and the cliches of rom-coms, I really don't like. I don't like them. And they're all over this thing. And that throwaway gag about the chain link fence, honestly, that kind of took the wind out of the sails of the one thing I was kind of impressed by, which was the visuals and the associated world building. Because, I mean, to pull an example that isn't actually Pixar, it's Disney, but like one of the things I really enjoyed about, say, Zootopia was the world building involved in that. How much thought went into how this place would have to look and run with the different biomes and how these different things interacted. And I was kind of into the idea of seeing that for, water, earth, air, fire, whatever elements living with a vicinity together. I'm like, okay, I could get into this. But then they had that gag with the chain link fence. Why are these even here? I said it out loud. Yeah, that's a good question. Because it seems like it's just there for the gag. But it wrecks the world building. Or at the very least, it lowers my faith that there's going to be proper world building. Because I praise Zootopia, but there is a Pixar film that I needed better world building than it did. And that was Onward. That world was so undercooked. It drove me crazy. And I'm just it's a throwaway gag, and I know I'm putting too much weight. I know I'm hanging too much on this one throwaway gag. But it immediately reminded me of how incomplete the world building in Onward was. And how not thought through it was. And with a story like that, or like this, where the setting's going to be a big part of the appeal, you have to commit to really solid world building. And to throw it away for a gag removes much confidence I have that even if you manage to do that, that you're going to stick with it. When it hits streaming, maybe I'll see it. But unless my kid really says, I really want to go see this. Speaking personally for, like, if she wants to see it, I'll not only go with her, but I'll keep my snark to myself because I try and be a good parent. But if I take her out of the equation, I just think about what would I want to watch as a 41-year-old who does still very much enjoy animation, has never grown out of it, and can even enjoy animation aimed at younger audiences sometimes. I look at that trailer and I go, no, there's nothing for me here. Other people probably like this trailer more. Will probably like the movie just fine. That's great. I am clearly too grumpy and jaded a person for this movie. So do not let me spoil your excitement. I can only speak for the perspective I have, which is of a jaded 41-year-old grouch. So, with that having been said, what do you think of this trailer? Whatever you thought about it, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills, allows me to do this as my living, even if you can't help that way. Other things are down in the description and stuff, and likes and the shares and the subscribes and the bell. Go ahead and hit that. Whatever. Don't worry too much about it, though. We take a relaxed attitude around here, so you can come on back next time you need a break. This video wouldn't have been possible without my supporters over on Patreon, and I would especially like to thank Robin Moore, Zubin Lutfullah, Tarak, the thing that goes doink in the anime, Ruth, Oliver B., Ulrich Bogdan, Melinda Walters, Imudelki, Leotha Boyd, Auntie Kate 808, Becky Sparks, Bernabe Lax the Poodle, Robin Powell, Tracy Scrabbit, Angry Casperl, Tim Price, Adam R.D.L. Taylor, David Hall, General Contact Unit Problem Child, Shayla Gourlay, and Rosalind Bennett. Thank you so much.